You own this? Y'all own this property?
What you think? We here, ain't we?
That doesn't mean you own it.
We own this.
Let me see your IDs.
You need to get off our property.
Let me see your IDs
Get
now.
off our property.
Let me see your IDs now.
A married couple was sitting in their car in the rain on their own property, minding their own business. Out of seemingly nowhere, a sheriff's deputy appears. He drives onto their property, he gets out of his car, he approaches them. He thinks their presence is suspicious, and he begins to ask them questions. But they didn't want him on the property, they told him to leave. But he did not leave. He ends up putting the husband in handcuffs and in the back of his patrol car. After a little while, the deputy acknowledges that these are the homeowners.
Yep, you are the property owner. Again, I didn't know that pulling up.
He lets the husband out of handcuffs, but understandably, they are not happy at all.
He arrested my husband on the property.
She later uploaded that video to social media, where it went viral. It even made the local TV news. In the news report, which the sheriff's office calls one-sided, the couple makes the allegation that they were victims of racial profiling.
And I see two black people sitting in there. They have no business there.
I did reach out to the sheriff's office to get their side of the story. They provided me with the police reports and the original raw footage. So who was right and who was wrong here? Was there racial profiling? Were this couple's constitutional rights violated? Well, I have an answer to that, at least in my opinion. So let's go through it and you can form your own. Some of you have sent me messages about my beard, that it's too long, it's too shabby, it's unprofessional, I need to do something about it. And to make matters worse, last weekend I actually caught my beard on fire because I got the grill too hot. Thankfully, I now have this sweet little machine. The Beard Hedger from Manscaped is the perfect companion for sculpting and styling your facial hair. It features a titanium-coated stainless steel T-blade with 20 different length options. You just choose your length with the zoom wheel. In minutes, you can achieve any look from neat stubble to a full-on beard masterpiece. But that's not all. The Beard Hedger is waterproof, so you can use it anywhere you want without worrying about water damage. It has up to 60 minutes of runtime on a single charge, so rarely will you have to worry about unplugging all of your wife's gadgets to find an outlet. Plus, the 3-level LED charge indicator lets you know when it's time to charge, so it doesn't die on you at the worst possible time. The Beard Hedger comes with everything you need to up your beard game, including all the cables, a comb, a travel bag, perfect to take on the go. Or you can get what I got, the Beard Hedger Pro Kit, which also comes with everything you need, but also more, such as the shampoos, the conditioners, the oils, the beard balm, the beard scissors, the beard brush, the beard comb, the storage case. I highly recommend these products and can get you now 15% off your entire order when you use code CIVIL at manscaped.com or using the link below. That's 15% off with promo code CIVIL at manscaped.com/civil. Now let's get back to the video.
A video of a Marion County Sheriff's deputy detaining a man on his property is getting hundreds of reactions on social media.
He arrested my husband on the property.
Not under arrest.
I don't care. You put him in handcuffs on the property, on our property, racial profiling us. He pulled up on our property and said that we are trespassing on our own property. Can you believe this? Now he's taking the handcuffs off my husband on our property still. It's so wrong, and this police department will be sued. I'm going to see my lawyer tomorrow.
Someone just pull in and ask, what are you doing here? Then we tell you we live here.
In my mind, you're thinking, oh, I see an old Honda 2000 Accord parked in front of a nice new construction building, and I see two black people sitting in there. They have no business there.
Welcome back to the Civil Rights Lawyer channel, where if you're a subscriber and you watch these videos, you'll be able to answer the questions such as, what is the one and only thing that you should say to a police officer if they approach you like this on your property? This comes to us from Marion County, Florida, which is the Ocala, Florida area. It's sort of rural horse country. This couple apparently lives already on the property, and they're building this new construction barn dominium. And this construction site is all brand new. I looked it up on Google, and it doesn't even show the barn dominium yet, much less the driveway coming in. They also put in new fencing and a gate, which is important for reasons we'll get to. So like many other videos that I do, no crime is reported at all. There's no 911 call. Nobody has requested the presence of police.
ID card. Something with your name on it.
That's my right. I'm gonna go ahead and go.
No, you're not.
I didn't break any laws, sir. So
Stop, dude. You can make an emergency, please. I got one resisting.
I work here, sir. I just got off work.
This is just a police officer out on patrol, being proactive, and he sees something that he thinks is suspicious. So what did the officer think was suspicious here? Just two black people sitting in a car? Well, these are his own words to his supervisor about why the interaction began.
I was driving by. It's a new construction. They're starting a barn, like a barn dominium out here. So I keep an eye on the place because I know how often those places get hit. So as I'm driving by, I see a vehicle park in front. This is completely unfinished. They've got the sidings done, but the inside isn't even touched. I see a vehicle parked in front of the house. Taillights are on. It looks occupied. So I walk up, go make contact. I'm like, hey, what are y'all doing here? Just trying to talk to him. The guy gets instantly aggressive and defensive, starts screaming at me to get off his effing property, says he owns this. I'm like, okay, if you own it, let me see some ID. I'll verify that and we'll be good.
And here is the beginning of the body cam footage where we can see that the car, at the time that the deputy first arrived, since it's raining, the car window is up. It looks close to impossible from that distance with the car window up to tell who is sitting inside that car. So he pulls onto the property through an open gate. He gets out of his car and he walks up to this Honda Accord. And as he's walking up, they're rolling down the driver's side window. And that's when the interaction begins.
You own this? Y'all own this property?
What you think? We here, ain't we?
That doesn't mean you own it.
We own this.
Let me see your IDs.
You need to get off our property.
Let me see your IDs
Get
now.
off our property.
Let me see your IDs now.
Get off our property, sir.
So you get off our property. Don't
Put
you
the car in drive. Put the car in park.
No,
Let me
you
see
need
your
to
ID.
get off our property.
Don't get upset, baby.
67 Rand. Send me another unit 51. Being non-cooperative.
Get off our property. That's crazy what he got going on. You come pull in our property and tell us get our ID. Get off our property, man. You no trespass.
Give me your ID.
No. Give me the ID. Give me the ID.
No trespass.
Let me see what's your name, sir?
My last name is Artman, A-R-T-M-A-N. My ID number is 6057.
No.
Get off our property.
No, baby. Give me your ID.
No, you need to do. Get off our property now.
Please.
Ma'am, do you have your ID as well?
No, I have to go back down to where I write down your.
That's fine. I can just write down your information. That's fine.
Why is you here?
The new construction house. I see a vehicle sitting out front,
And
running
this
with
is
the
our
lights on.
house. This is my home.
Hey,
Don't fuss with me.
calm down. If it's your home,
You
now leave
dead
me
ass wrong
alone.
for pulling up in our house.
Baby, no. I'm gonna call 911 myself.
Call him, baby, now.
I am.
You dead ass wrong.
Cut
You
off,
being
baby.
racial
Cut
profile.
off, baby.
I didn't know who was
That's
driving.
the you did.
Cut off.
I don't like
We're not
that
gonna
shit.
do that. No. Don't.
Stay the off our property. Get off our property, man. That's all you got to do.
No, I'm gonna call 911.
We told you we own it. We
Ma'am.
own it. Call him, baby.
Ma'am,
I'm
Call
calling
him.
now.
ma'am, what's your first name?
Call him.
No, I'm calling 911.
And here's more of the deputy explaining to the supervisor about why he thought this couple was suspicious.
He wants to get argumentative and screaming at me, and then the wife starts screaming at me, and he provides me this DL, and it says 17335. The house number is 17327. So the numbers are close, they don't match. So I still don't know that they actually live here or have the right to be on the property.
By the way, I looked up both of those house numbers on Google Maps, and both of them came back to exactly the spot where this incident occurred. And as a police officer going off a hunch, where no crime is reported, you're sort of out on a limb. You have to always sort of ask yourself, I think, why am I here? What am I doing? What am I trying to achieve? It's like at some point the investigation becomes an investigation to justify the investigation, and they forget the entire reason they were there in the first place. All right, this suspicious vehicle in front of this new construction site. Well, he talked to them. They said they lived there. They told him to leave. They provided ID that is awfully darn close to where he thought he was. And they called 911 on him. That might have been the point at which he could have thought to himself, you know what, maybe I'm wrong. These people have just called 911. I have their ID information. Maybe I just leave because they told me to leave. But that's not what happened.
You dead ass wrong. You dead ass wrong.
Listen, until I can verify this is your property, I'm conducting
You
a
ain't
criminal
got to do
investigation.
shit.
Therefore, you need to provide me with your
No,
name.
criminal investigation.
You ain't connecting shit because nothing been stolen around here. Nothing.
I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am.
6 or
Yes,
7.
I have a
Subjects are
police
calling
officer on
911.
our property, and he's
refusing to
saying
provide
that
information.
I don't know, but he's on our property telling us we don't live here. Can you have somebody come out here right away, please?
We don't
Because he's
own our
threatening us.
property.
The address is 17335
That's crazy.
North Highway
Just pull up in
329.
somebody's property in the rain.
Reddick.
You think I want to be out here standing in the
Bro,
rain?
you dead ass wrong, man. You dead ass fucking
I don't know why
wrong.
you gotta be hostile. I'm trying to do my job.
You being hostile now.
I'm not being hostile.
Because you just pull up on our property and acting like we don't own that.
Wait, you cannot hear me.
You dead ass wrong.
It's 17335.
67, 65 a tag.
The deputy radios the car's plate number to dispatch, and literally as the dispatcher is reporting back the information on the plate, the husband starts to get out of the car. Now, mind you, they are on their own property. They are not under arrest. They have not been told yet that they are being detained. As far as any citizen in that situation knows at that point, it's a consensual encounter. There's no way of knowing because they haven't asked and the officer did not say. The officer then makes a split-second decision to undoubtedly turn this into a detainment.
Hey, stay in the car. Stay in the car.
This is
Get
my
back in the car.
property, man.
Get back in the car
This
now.
is my property.
Sit back
Dead
down
ass
in the
wrong.
car.
I ain't being detained.
Sit
This
back
is my
down. Yes,
property.
you are. Until I can verify you own
you
the
don't
property,
verify.
sit
You
back
don't
down in
read
the
it in my name already.
All right.
And also put the husband in handcuffs.
Hands on your back. You're being detained right now. Hands on your back.
Okay,
Drop it.
drop my phone.
Drop it.
Drop my
Put the
phone.
phone in the car. Put the phone in the
Drop my
car.
phone.
Drop the wallet.
Man,
Hands on your back.
This is my phone.
Hands on your back.
I'm gonna
Right now, you're being detained,
I'm gonna
okay?
sue you. No, I'm gonna sue you. I'm gonna sue you.
I'm getting out too, because he's gonna arrest me too. Arrest me too. Put me in handcuffs. And I'm gonna stand in my house.
Oh, stop something. Things caught your shirt. Things caught your
You
shirt.
dead serious, man. You dead wrong, man.
Walk over to the car.
No, I can stay right here from being detained.
Walk over to the car now. Marion, have him step it up, please.
Dead ass wrong, man. You dead ass wrong. This is my home.
You have anything in your pockets that'll stick me, poke me, or prod me?
no,
Any
I
kind of
don't.
weapons on you?
No, I don't.
Nothing illegal?
No,
No
I
illegal
don't.
substance? Spread your feet for me.
Dead ass wrong.
He's put him in handcuffs behind his back, and he's about to put him in the back of the police car. And what we just witnessed on the body cam was him asking questions where he's fishing for incriminating information. Do you have anything illegal on you? But he's also fishing for what should be justification to frisk him. Do you have any weapons on you? Now, the husband said no, but the deputy frisked him anyways. We saw him do it. But according to the U.S. Supreme Court, to frisk somebody during a detention, during a Terry stop, to perform a Terry frisk, a police officer has to have information that the individual is armed or dangerous. Here he said he was not armed, and there's no indication that he's dangerous, at least not that I've seen. So unless the officer can explain why he believed that this man was armed or dangerous, that was an illegal frisk, which is an illegal search and seizure.
Nope, watch the door.
Throw my food
Pass inside
down
the
and
car.
everything. You dead
I
ass
didn't throw
wrong,
your
man.
food
Yes, you
down.
did. You see me eating, man. That ain't right. This
Watch
is
your
my
arm.
home.
Watch your arm.
So now very quickly we've gone from a conversation to the husband being placed in handcuffs and put in the back of the police car. That means that there's no doubt at this point that a detention is occurring as opposed to a consensual encounter. Therefore, the Fourth Amendment is implicated, which then requires the question, was the detention justified? Or also, depending on how it occurs, the detention could turn into an arrest. If it ends up lasting an unreasonable amount of time under the circumstances, or it goes down in some unreasonable way. Here is the deputy's explanation to his supervisor about why this occurred.
He starts getting out of the car. I said, sit back in the vehicle. He wouldn't listen. I didn't trust him, so I detained him and put him in the back of my car. Before I even did that, she called 911.
So he has the guy's ID as he waits for backup to arrive. He walks over to the front gate of this property, and he notices that there's actually two different numbers, one of which does match the guy's ID.
67. The mailbox says 17335, but the fence says 17327. Could possibly be the occupant. Still have another unit in route.
And after this point, is it reasonable to still be suspicious that the guy could be trespassing on some third party's property, but just happens to have an ID with his picture and at least one of the two numerical addresses for the actual property?
He provided me this DL, and it says 17335. The mailbox says 17335, but the fence says 17327.
Pretty much statistically impossible. But like I said, now sort of investigating to substantiate the investigation.
This 40 is
Stella Jackson.
10-4, that's gonna be possible. Okay, where's the house that's 335?
Don't worry about where the house is. You wait till the other officers get. Don't worry about that.
Listen, I don't know why y'all have to be so aggressive and
No, you
hostile.
are on our property, sir.
You know, okay, listen. Can I explain? Can I explain a little bit? Can I explain a little bit?
You're trespassing.
Can I explain a little bit?
No, you can't
No?
explain. You're trespassing.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I'm suing you.
So
You're
next time,
trespassing.
I'll let someone just come in and break in and steal stuff.
No.
If you want to play that, ma'am, how was I to know that was your property? How did I know it was your property? How did I know it was your property?
Why did you come on here?
How did I know it was your property?
No, you don't need to know. And then you're gonna arrest my husband.
Your husband's not arrested. He's just being detained. I didn't know. Oh my goodness, I'm not arguing. The house number that ends in 335. Where's the house actually at? Because the number on the fence is different than the mailbox.
Man, you wrong.
Listen, where is that house at? The 17335. Where's that house at?
This is new construction house right here.
Okay, this house. What is this house number right here?
Right there on the front fence.
The 17327.
Yeah.
Okay.
6057, still 10-4, 10-6.
That's 10-4. The 17335. Where's that house at?
What you mean where it's at?
This is 1723327.
It's one piece of property. This is all one property.
See, now if we just talked about it, it would have been a completely different conversation.
You should have never did that, sir. You just put it here, assume something, and hey, what you own this? That is wrong, man. You got these clubs on me tight, and we stay here. This is our property, sir. We told you that.
It was at this point that the deputy gets back out of the car and then he calls his supervisor on his cell phone. I already played you some of that conversation. Here's where it picks up.
He appears to live in the house behind the property. 10-4. But there is, but I can't see the house number on the building. There's a mailbox that says 17335. And then the fence post says 17327. I didn't see the mailbox when I pulled in. I only saw the number on the fence post. And on top of it, it's a new construction. There's a car sitting out front with its lights on. I mean, how many times do we get them things broken into in broad daylight? But she's screaming, hooting, and hollering and won't give me her information. I'm like, you know what? If I can verify that she's his spouse and they live at the house behind, then okay, we're good. That's all I needed. On the registration of the vehicle? Oh, yeah. I didn't even get a chance to. I was just trying to talk to him. Then he starts getting out of the vehicle, and I was like, I don't trust that you're not about to either run or fight me, so you're going to sit in my car. I'm not trying to cause crap for you, sir. I'm sorry, but just... That's all it is right now. But he's already pissed off, and they're all talking about suing, and they're going to file a complaint anyway, so... I'm sure you'll see it. All right, I'm still gonna need one of them here so I can at least, if we can talk to people at the house to verify that they live here and they have the right to be on the property. Awesome, I just can't go back there right now. And they're all claiming that I came out here and was being aggressive and stupid with them, and I wasn't. I was trying to verify who they were. Yeah, and I don't doubt that. I didn't know there was another house behind this. I couldn't see it from the road. It just looked like it was a big driveway with a big piece of property. Yep, we'll do. All right, bye. We're not going to take them off right now, but if I can verify that y'all live at the house behind, which I see your ID says that, I don't see the house number in the back there. Once another you gets here and verifies that that's your address, then we can get this done and over with. All right, I wasn't coming out here profiling you. I didn't know that until you gave me your ID, all right? And even then, I can't see that house back there.
No, just loosen the handcuffs. Please put them in the front or
Can you do that?
Yeah, hold on one second, I'll loosen them.
I ain't gonna hurt me.
All right, here's what I'm gonna do, Mr. Jackson. Kind of turn your back, face that way. Which one's tight right now? Both of them?
Both of them.
Okay, all right.
Put them in the, I ain't going nowhere, man.
No, wink.
I'm not going nowhere, sir. This is my home. I ain't got
Again, Mr. Jackson, I don't know that until I verify everything, all right?
I'm just saying.
All right, here's what I'm gonna do. Go and step out. I'll put them around in the front, and then you can sit, then we'll sit back inside, okay?
I ain't trying to I can't even hardly get out this
Okay.
motherfucker.
The police officer that is on our property.
Okay, just go and face the car for me, okay? Ooh, you good? You good? It's tight. All right, face the car for me, okay?
My husband.
He ain't arresting me, baby.
He's not under arrest.
I don't care. You put him in handcuffs on the property.
Right now,
On
he's just
our
being
property.
detained. Okay, so when I release your left arm,
He pulled up
just
on
turn
our
around and face
property
me and I'll put him in the
and
front,
said
okay?
that we are trespassing on our own property. Can you believe this? Now he's taking the handcuffs off my husband on our
Listen,
property still.
Do me a favor, I don't care if you record, take a couple steps back, okay?
You know?
Take a couple
No,
steps
you
back.
need to take
Step back, baby.
step out.
Step back.
Step back.
Please.
Because
There's a couple
it's
steps,
wrong what
okay?
they're doing. Just
It's
step
so
back.
wrong.
All right,
and
face the
this
car for
police
me.
department will be sued. I'm going to see my lawyers tomorrow. Just want to show you what has
Stupid
happened.
kid, you stupid. Hold on
Thank
with me,
you.
all right?
You need to go live, baby.
Turn around and face me.
Jackson, we are the property owners.
Just go like that. Go like that. Nope. Turn your wrist that way. There you go. I don't want it to turn sideways on you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll adjust this one, okay? I did not mean to make you drop your biscuit. All right? Finish it.
Man. When somebody tell you they stay here, we stay here. That's,
Yeah, but here's the thing. How do I know until I verify?
You
No, it's not.
You should never put on
That's
nobody's
inside the
property,
car.
man. I ain't gonna argue with you, but you dead wrong, and you know you wrong. You in big trouble for this, bro.
It's a matter of opinion, all right?
97.
All right, so she's just sitting over hooting, hollering, and recording. I don't really care about that. I need to try to verify the address they have on his license. I need to try to verify if it's that address back behind there. Because you saw the fence has one number.
Yep.
The mailbox has a different one.
Okay.
Didn't see the mailbox when I pulled in here. I was focused on the car because where they're parked at right now, the car was sitting there, lights on. I could see someone was moving around in it. And it's the new construction, so I figured, hey, 13, I need to check it out. So I
Did
flipped
you look
around.
at the lot box to see what the address is on the lot box?
No, they told me the address for this property
Man.
is on one of the fence.
Just give us a minute.
Y'all on my property. I can't believe this.
And this
This
is the
is
whole
a
time.
wow.
Okay,
Y'all put
we're on
my
a.
husband on our property. Said we trespassing on our property.
I need to try to get on property appraisal, but I can't get the
Ma'am, that's fine. You do what you want. We're doing an investigation. We're doing an
What
investigation.
investigation?
Ma'am, just give us a minute, please.
There should be an
Just
investigation.
give us a minute.
This is ridiculous.
I already
She
tried to
was
explain.
Racial
Yeah, she was.
profiling. I guess a black
That's
woman
what she
can't have a nice house near
I
you.
couldn't even tell what
That's
kind of
why
rate.
he
It
pulled
just
it. I'm
don't
not saying
acknowledge.
you are, but you didn't do it.
I can go check the lot box. See what, would they have the person's name who owns the property on that?
Yeah, everything should be on the job box.
I didn't. Again, I was focused on the car because of all this crap. It's a nice freaking barn, though.
Yeah, look at my name.
Devon Jelly, yeah.
This is theirs.
Yeah. But again, didn't know that off the bat. Actually, hold on. Let me take a picture of that because I'm going to probably end up writing something on this anyways.
We just talked to her. So what? You don't have anything, right?
Nope, we're good now. I just didn't have the chance to get that because I was focused on them. Hey, because I was focused on the car, I didn't see the lot box there. And even then, I was focused on them. So Joe just pointed that out, went over and checked it, and both their names are on the lot box, which is in front of the construction that they were parked in front of. So I got nothing. I'm going to cut him loose. Yeah, I'm going to write up a do you want me to write something up on this in case they complain so there's documentation? Okay, 10-4. I'll do that. All right, appreciate it. Bye. Nope, I'm getting him out. All right, bye. All right, go and step out. I'll get those off you. Check the lot box. Yep, you are the property owner. Again, I didn't know that pulling up, and because of all the chaos of y'all guys screaming at me, I couldn't verify that, okay?
Okay, officer.
There was a little bit, man.
You dragged me like a child.
I did not
over here.
drag you like a
Yes, you
child.
did.
Did
Yes,
not
you
drag
did.
you like a child.
Yes, you did.
I said we're gonna walk over my car,
Yes,
and you
did.
wanted to
You
start
got
walking towards the
scrapes.
building.
You know better than that. You're not a rookie.
You're free to go. Have a good day.
You know better than that. That's why you let me go.
Once the officer has left the world of consensual encounter and entered the world of a Terry stop or an investigatory detention implicating the Fourth Amendment, reasonable suspicion is required. For a lawful Terry stop, A police officer needs specific objective facts, not just a hunch indicating that a crime or violation has occurred. An officer may perform a limited investigatory detention of someone whom he reasonably suspects has committed criminal activity, but such stops can only last as long as necessary to achieve their limited investigatory purpose. And before police officers escalate the situation to this point, again, they should be asking themselves questions. Not just, am I investigating something in my own mind? Or is it my department policy to always get an ID from somebody by force if necessary? You have to think about the Fourth Amendment. Am I involved right now in a consensual encounter, or am I forcing this person to comply with my orders? So if it's not a consensual encounter, what is my reasonable suspicion? What crime am I investigating? Most of these hunch suspicions can be resolved very easily with a consensual encounter. Police may approach anybody really in a consensual encounter and ask for ID or other information, but that person is free to refuse or to walk away unless they are being detained, and that requires reasonable suspicion. That's why the one question that somebody should ask if they're in a situation like this and they're unsure what the legal rights are, all you have to ask is, am I free to go? If the answer is yes, then you have no obligation to provide ID or to comply with anything else. And if the answer is no, now it's been confirmed that the Fourth Amendment has been implicated, it's a detention, and you can comply and avoid arrest while still preserving your rights. Another thing going on here is the location that this is taking place. This is sort of a weird scenario. This is a home, but it's a new construction home. Nobody's moved in yet. The inside's not even finished. So is this like an open fields situation? Or are we talking about an actual home and the curtilage of a home where the rules are way different? The U.S. Supreme Court said in 2018 in Collins versus Virginia that the police cannot even enter the curtilage of a home to search a vehicle that's parked within the curtilage of that home, for instance, a driveway, without a warrant, even where they have probable cause. So if that car is sitting in the driveway within the curtilage of this barn dominium, if it gets that protection yet, according to the courts, it doesn't matter whether the officer even has reasonable suspicion or even probable cause. He has to have a warrant. But setting that aside, let's look at what the officer's claimed reasonable suspicion is here. 1, it's a new construction site. 2, it's an occupied vehicle that's parked there. And 3, the guy gets, quote, instantly aggressive and defensive. Also, looking at their police report, they included this fact. During the past year, there have been 121 construction-related offense reports, with many of them being burglaries and criminal mischiefs. Now, that doesn't apply to this situation. That's just sort of like saying this was a high crime area and we were patrolling this area because there have been 100+ burglaries or crimes that have occurred in that area before. Even including that fact, if true, that's not a whole lot. So, applying that law to all the facts that we just watched, do I think that there was racial profiling involved here? No. In my opinion, it does not appear that the deputy could see who was in that car, whatever race or color they may be. Now, perhaps he profiled the car being an older Honda Accord, contrasted with what looks like to be an expensive construction project. No, this, in my opinion, is yet another example of a police officer's unnecessary, proactive hunch that achieved nothing good, and that, in my opinion, was unreasonable and therefore unconstitutional under the Fourth Amendment. I don't dispute that this police officer did have a hunch. He did have suspicions in his mind. I don't believe that it was nefarious or malicious. He saw something he thought was suspicious, and he did go to investigate. But once he made the decision to turn what could have been just a consensual encounter, asking questions if they want to answer, into a detainment, those suspicions were not reasonable. He had them, but they were not reasonable because nobody had reported that any crime had occurred. He had not observed anything illegal. All he observed was a car parked in front of this construction project. Even if we give that to him, the initial suspicion, even if we say that that is reasonable, that doesn't entitle him to just do whatever he wants. Remember, such stops can only last as long as necessary. And here, immediately when he started asking questions, they told him they lived there. When he asked for ID, it was provided, and it matched at least one of the 2 addresses on the front entrance of the property.
He provided me this DL And it says 17335. The mailbox says 17335, but the fence says 17327.
And he had that information prior to placing this man in handcuffs and during the entire 20 minutes or so that he had him in handcuffs. That's just unreasonable in my opinion, and I think many courts would agree with that. And that's not even addressing the elephant in the room. If this new construction house is to be considered a home for purposes of the Fourth Amendment, and if he went in and seized this individual within the curtilage of that home, he had to have had a warrant or exigent circumstances. I looked a little bit into that issue, and it's an interesting issue. Their home is elsewhere on the property. They're building this new barn dominium. It's completely unfinished. At which point would a warrant be required to arrest them within what would be the curtilage of that barn dominium? I think there's a number of factors that would have to be addressed. Whether or not a person would have an expectation of privacy. When you look at those cases, when you look at the curtilage cases in the 11th Circuit, they place a lot of importance on whether or not there is a fence and a gate, especially a closed gate or a locked gate. In the 11th Circuit in Florida, if you gate your property and you close and lock that gate and police officers hop over that gate, the case law is overwhelmingly that they have now entered the curtilage and a warrant would have been required. So keep that in mind for the future. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe both here and at the blog at thecivilrightslawyer.com. You can also follow me on X at JohnBryanESQ and let me know in a comment what you think. I gave you my opinion. Let me hear yours. Remember, our rights don't end where your fear begins. Freedom is scary. Deal with it.